Rajiv, what do you think is some of the key takeaways from this whole discussion about the impact of the...
Yeah, that is an interesting dialogue, right? So I think one of the takeaways for me is if you look at the overall, the business decisions that our executives have to make every day, those business decisions are still there, right? Those decisions around how do we generate growth, how do we deploy capital, how do you optimize the overall costs, those decisions are the same, right? And that's got to be in light of the macroeconomic environment and the industry dynamics. But clearly with tax reform, there's new things that have come into play, which is you got additional cash, you got to make a decision as to how do you deploy the cash. There's certain segments of the industry product services segment that might grow at a differential rate than others because of expensing. There are certain provisions in the tax law, for example, GILTI, BEAT, and FEII, which has got the potential to change the overall supply chain dynamics and cost. So really one of the things is to how do you actually take all of this and analyze it and develop what the ROI is for the business. And it's got to be done something which is not just purely business on its own or tax separately on its own. It's got to be done as a combined entity. Yeah. To me, one of the takeaways is make it ROI driven.
And it's interesting because it's only when you're looking at the ROI and you're looking at the modeling that you know exactly the impact of the different provisions. The provisions are complicated, they're interlinked, and you cannot look at one and make a decision solely on that. You have to do that comprehensive modeling, otherwise you get very counterintuitive results.
And I think this will change the role that tax departments play in those decisions. I think we're going to see first tax departments being a lot more at the table as these discussions are taking place, and we see the role of the tax professionals already quickly becoming a lot more analytical and quantitative and trying to model these highly complex dependencies between the different provisions. So it's clearly a very interesting world to be practicing in.
Absolutely.
Yep, agreed.